I think he's inspired a lot of kids. For grassroots boxing gyms that were struggling to pay bills are now full because of people like Jake Paul. Yeah. And for women's boxing, he's done amazing. It's women's rights to stand up and fight for equal right, and Jake's a pioneer of that. So he's done well on those two fronts.
Let's go. Whole card stacked next Friday. Let's fucking get it. Whole card, movies. Come on. Stop playing, people. Look at this.
Great.
Look at this. Come on.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. And I'm proud of y'all.
I don't dislike Jake Paul. I'm just a competitor, and we could talk about the fight, what he learned, what I learned. And as I said, and I stand on it, I think there's room for us to do some good business because we're crossing over from USA to the UK. We're here to take over, not take part. And I have to go in there, stomp all over him, inflict pain, and land that right hand that he says is my only weapon. I know the energy in that building when you've got 15,000 people calling out for entertainment, calling out for power punches. I know I'm gonna deliver, I know Jake's gonna deliver. So the people in the venue are gonna be in for a good treat and they're gonna go home and say, what an event that was.
We can bring the votes in, fellas. Huh?
You had taller shoes on it last week. You're shorter today. You're shorter today, bro. He's shrunk, bro. He's shrunk.
Mommy, he's shrinking me.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Anthony Joshua didn't just show up at the Miami press conference, he took control of it. In a moment that cut through all the noise, AJ snapped at Jake Paul, stripping away the showmanship and reframing their December bout for what it really is. A serious professional test, not content, not theater, and not a joke.
You know how the game goes?
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting, no matter who it is.
Who are those opponents lined up for you in 2026?
My focus is on Jake Paul.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Is that true though? Do you have those two fights lined up already?
They're not signed, they're not sealed, but they're opportunities really. They're just opportunities in the game. But my main focus that's signed and sealed is Jake Paul, so that's all I've got in front of me.
Do you agree with the assessment that if this fight goes longer than the Ngannou fight, it's kind of a...
No, Jake's a completely different fighter to
Okay.
Ngannou. Ngannou and Jake are completely different animals, so I can't compare the two together. Ngannou never boxed before either, Jake's boxed before. They're just different. Ngannou's a lot more slower, but a lot bigger and more powerful. Jake's quicker. Jake boxes in a completely different style. Ngannou's more upright. He can does switches southpaw and orthodox. Jake doesn't really do that. They're completely different fighters, if I'm honest with you. So I'm not trying to compare. At the end of the day, it's just what happens at the end of the night. I'm not in there to try and knock Jake out in 10 seconds or 8 rounds. I'm going to go in there and do a job. I'm going to want to hurt him.
Joshua acknowledged Paul's audacity, but made his position crystal clear. He's preparing for Jake Paul the same way he would any world-level contender, through a disciplined training camp, sharp fundamentals, and a game plan built around pressure, control, and systematic breakdown. In AJ's words, this isn't about hype. It's about cutting him off, breaking him down, and proving levels still matter.
Fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Do you agree?
Whatever he said. We'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through war.
The tension escalated when Paul leaned fully into his confidence, promising to shock the world. Joshua, calm and unmoved, responded in a very different way. He said he's betting completely on himself, and to underline that belief, he even offered to put his chain on the line. No trash talk, no theatrics, just certainty.
I like to challenge myself. I like to take on the biggest, the best. I said anyone, anytime, any place. I truly mean that. And I'm here to go out there and shock the world. I know what I'm capable of. I see him and what he's capable of. And we're gonna go to war and we'll see the best man that will win. But people say, oh, he's out of his mind, all of these things. I've gotten to where I'm at today because of delusional optimism. And so it's delusion. until it's not, because look at where we're sitting today. No one ever thought that this would be possible, that we would be here when I first started boxing, and no one thinks I'm gonna win. So join the list and be ready to be shocked.
Joshua went on to emphasize the real tactical stakes of a heavyweight fight, from raw power to the need for total concentration. He framed the matchup as a collision between marketability and elite ability. While he respected Paul's boldness, his warning was unmistakable. If Jake Paul can't handle sustained pressure, the consequences won't just be physical. They'll be reputational and felt across the sport. As the intensity of the Miami press conference settled, the conversation naturally shifted to Deontay Wilder, who added a much darker layer of caution.
And I don't know nothing, but but one person would do what Jake is doing. And that's it. And I'm talking about the weight difference. For him being, well, like I said, 215 and Joshua being 250, I don't know that there was differences. I don't know no other person that have done that but me that fight that. I fight guys 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds heavier than me. You know what I mean?
But if it's not scripted, then do you think it's dangerous?
It's dangerous no matter what.
Wilder suggested the matchup almost feels scripted because of how unusual it is. Paul entering around 215 pounds against an active former world champion near 250. But scripted or not, Wilder stressed one truth. The danger is exactly the same once a fighter steps through the ropes. Boxing doesn't care about narratives. It only reacts to impact.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. And the one thing for sure my doctors have always told me, it's like the head, they say, Deontay, understand this. The head is not meant to be hit, you know? Because I always get, CAT scans and make sure the brain and stuff right and making my body right. And I always try to convince other fighters and stuff, go get MRIs, go get CAT scans, and go get all that, because your outside body may feel good. You may, I'm good, especially after a fight. The adrenaline rush is still on. You don't feel nothing right now. But after this over with, maybe a week, a month, 11, you probably are developing something that can end your career. You just can't see it right now. You can't see it. You maybe can't feel it, but it's developing. And that's why I say, because the doctors always told me, and I learned from the doctors, they say, Deontay, understand, the head is not meant to be hit. Your brain is not meant to be shook.
Drawing from his own experience, Wilder explained how long-term damage develops quietly. He spoke about undergoing MRIs and scans before every fight, and warned that the head simply isn't built for repeated trauma. His message was clear. This event isn't harmless entertainment. It carries real consequences for safety and competitive integrity, especially in a sport that already walks a fine line.
So quick, it's come so quick, the fight has. But AJ by knockout, brutal knockout. Nakisa is making a big mistake putting Jake Paul in a fight like this because he's gonna want to see him get hurt. I mean, these guys are going for the money, where really, he has a life after boxing as well. Let's hope he comes out the ring in one piece.
That warning echoed strongly in Amir Khan's assessment, though Khan delivered it with brutal clarity. He admitted the fight's sudden arrival feels surreal, but insisted that the most realistic outcome is a devastating Joshua knockout. Khan argued that placing Jake Paul in this matchup is an unnecessary risk, where the physical danger far outweighs any reward, no matter how large the paycheck.
If I was AJ, I'd do the same thing, because at the end of the day, you're fighting a YouTuber, and why not? I mean, getting paid millions and millions of pounds. And why is Jake doing? Jake's just doing it for probably the fan following. Maybe he wants to get the boxing audience. But look, who knows? I mean, anything can happen in boxing. One punch can change the fight, but I just don't think he has that one punch to change the fight. It's just Jake.
Khan broke down the motivations on both sides. For Joshua, it's simple, an enormous payday for a fight that favors him heavily on paper. For Paul, it's influence, visibility, and access to the traditional boxing audience. Still, Khan emphasized that while anything can happen in boxing, Paul does not possess the power, experience, or technical threat required to seriously challenge a heavyweight of Joshua's caliber.
I had a deal with DAZN to allow AJ to take this fight. I'll be there promoting AJ. I won't be pushing and promoting the show like normal, but you'll see me all week, and I'll be around AJ like I am every fight week, and we're taking this very seriously. It's not like we're not going into this week in Miami as a laugh. We're not saying, oh, it's Jake Paul, or this is going to be like, we're expecting a test, and we're expecting and preparing like we would if we were fighting a world-class heavyweight. I don't think you would expect anything less from AJ. He's not mucking around, he's not laughing and joking. You know, he's relaxed, but he knows he's fighting next week on a massive stage in a fight that's very important for his.
That same message was reinforced by Eddie Hearn, speaking from inside Joshua's camp. While Matchroom isn't promoting the Miami event, Hearn confirmed he'll be in AJ's corner, treating this bout with the same seriousness as any world title fight. He rejected the idea of Jake Paul being viewed as a novelty opponent, stressing that preparation has been ruthless, urgent, and fully professional. Hearn acknowledged Paul's pride, improvement, and experience sparring big fighters, but none of that replicates the levels, power, and danger Joshua brings. In his view, Paul's best-case scenario is avoiding a clean shot, because once AJ lands, the outcome will be decisive.
You know, and he can go over and, you know, he can't get up and the ref stop. That will be a massive result. You know, the biggest result for Jake Paul right now is that he gets away with it by not getting hit too flush. Because the artillery will be heavy. The artillery won't be, and I've lost count of how many times I've said this. Do not worry about anybody holding back. Do not worry about us going, oh, it's Jake Paul, let's not take it to... No. We're going in there, locked and loaded with the heaviest fucking artillery in the heavyweight division that will be unleashed on Jake Paul in my...
Hearn also addressed concerns about health, reputation, and backlash if the fight ends violently. While he admitted Paul is better prepared than most novices, he made it clear that no preparation equips a fighter for prime heavyweight artillery. Joshua's mindset, according to Hearn, is strictly business. Arrive in Miami, impose dominance, restore momentum, and move forward towards world title ambitions in 2026.
So, and it will be unleashed sharp, fast, and hard on his chin. So the best case scenario for him is that he gets, you know, it don't land too clean. Because when it lands clean, he ain't getting up. And the fight's over and he's getting knocked out bad. And there'll be a lot of people that will enjoy watching it. I'm giving him the respect to say, listen, you've got big balls. But he needs to get very lucky next weekend. Not lucky to win. Not lucky to survive on points. Lucky that the knockout is not too clean.
When you step back and take everything together, Joshua's cold intent, Wilder's safety warnings, Khan's realism, and Hearn's inside perspective, the picture becomes impossible to ignore. This is a crossover spectacle wrapped around a very real, very dangerous heavyweight fight. Jake Paul brings confidence, marketability, and courage, but he's stepping into a division where one mistake can end a night or a career. From where I'm sitting, this feels less like a competitive crossroads and more like a collision between ambition and heavyweight physics. My prediction, Anthony Joshua by early knockout. Not out of malice, but because history, skill, and raw power all point in the same direction. Now, I want to hear from you. Is Jake Paul daring or delusional? Is Joshua taking a risk or cashing the easiest check of his career? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.